part of the business. And one thing I do know for sure, they're not canceling our season. So we got to do a great job of coming together collectively and finding a way to turn this thing around quickly. And I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm excited about the men that we have in this locker room. And I feel like we have the right pieces in place to create some movement going forward. And with that, I'll take your questions.
Steve Wilks here with Fox Charlotte. What do you need to do to turn things around so that you guys can start winning games in mid-season right now?
It's all about execution. And when you really go back and evaluate our first 5 games and where we are, it's really a lack of execution in all 3 phases at some point in time. We played well enough to win games. We got to find a way to finish, and that starts with me as well as the coaches.
So does that mean schematically and mindset-wise, you'll keep the same schemes, if you will, going forward on defense and/or offense?
The schemes aren't going to change much, but I think you have to be creative in the process of what you're doing, and everything is predicated off who we're playing. Offensively, defensively, and special teams. If there's opportunities there in the special teams game, we're going to be aggressive and try to take them. Number one process on defense, we got to stop the run and try to make teams one-dimensional. And then offensively, we got to create some momentum and some consistency, and that starts with trying to run the football.
Steve, Mike Kay from the Charlotte Observer. What went into the decision to release Foley and Snow from the coaching staff?
2 great men, 2 great coaches. It was my call and my decision. I just felt like I wanted a different approach moving forward, and that was all.
What does Al Holcomb bring to that defensive coordinator position?
Al is someone that I've been around for a long time, someone I trust. Very smart guy, understands the game, has been here before with this organization when we had success. I've had success with him. Great rapport with the players, and I know he's going to get it going in the right direction.
Steve Richards with WBT Radio. In terms of when you were at Arizona, what can you take from there to this time from being a head coach?
It's a lot, but I think the number one thing you have to take is just really making sure that everybody's on the same page, that your message is consistent in what's getting delivered downstairs, and that starts with the coaches, and that's why I feel like the guys that we have in place are going to do a great job with the things that I want to try to implement in all 3 phases. That message is going to get delivered downstairs, and we've got to find a way for the guys to go out and execute each and every week.
Steve, who will call plays defensively for you guys?
Al Holcomb will call the defense.
How would you describe your opportunity you had in Arizona versus the opportunity you have here?
I still think it's head coach, interim head coach. The process is still the same. The structure is still the same. I think you got to make sure that you're consistent in your approach. You're clear in your direction with the players and coaches. But I don't see it any different in just the interim tag.
Do you think you got a fair opportunity at Arizona?
I'm not going to really go down that road and talk about what's fair. I'm living in the present. I'm excited about where we are right now and the opportunity that I have now.
Steve, along those lines, did you get any assurances that you will get some serious consideration to have the interim tag removed?
To be quite honest with you, Joe, I'm not really looking beyond the day. And that's what I told the players. My approach has always been, our approach is going to be win the day. And I think the first thing that we need to be concerned with is trying to win a football game, which starts with the Los Angeles Rams. So whatever's going to happen at the end of the year is going to take care of itself.
I'm sure the last few days have been insane for you. Have you had a chance to sit down and kind of reflect on the fact that you are a local kid, you are from here, you know the Panthers, and now you're leading the Panthers, and what that means to you?
I draw back on my experience in Arizona. People say it's been hectic, but it's been part of the process. So I know how to handle these situations, so I feel very confident in that. Yes, I'm excited about, being here, being from Charlotte, but the focus is not about me. The focus is about this organization and making sure that we do everything we can to get back on track.
Why do you feel like, why do you feel like this team can turn it around at 1-4? What beliefs do you have that they can do this?
I feel like we have the talent in that locker room. We have the men that want to get it done. Our work ethic has been consistent from a standpoint of how we go about each and every day for us practicing. We just got to go out in the game and execute and finish. So I feel very confident in the men that we have and knowing that we're going to turn the corner.
You said you talked to the players yesterday. What was that conversation like, and what is the tenor among them regarding this change?
I think the guys are in good spirits. Of course, change is always difficult, but they understand that this is a business. And my approach with them is that we can't worry about what has happened in the past. We got to focus on the future, and most importantly, we got a lot of games left. And I feel like we haven't really hit the stretch of the bulk of our division yet, but we're going to take it one game at a time and feel like we got some time to turn it around.
Steve, what have your conversations been like with Ben McAdoo, and are there specific things you want to try to adjust offensively to take advantage of what's here?
Darren, as I stated before, I feel like we have the talent. Ben and I have spoke on several occasions within the last 24 hours. I feel like there's certain things that I want to be able to get done schematically that I feel like is going to give us an opportunity and a chance to progress and move forward. Those conversations have been between he and I. He's very receptive to those, and I think we're going to be able to get things going in the right direction.
You said you want to have a different approach defensively. Can you kind of describe what that approach would be?
I'm not going to get into, the details of schematically of what we're trying to do. I think what we've done in the past has been great, but I think you ought to constantly evolve each and every week in the things that you're trying to do, particularly on who you're playing. So, David, that's really what I'm saying in regards to everything is predicated off your opponent.
Well, you got the call from Tepper to meet with him to give you this job. Can you talk when that happened, what your reaction was?
Mr. Tepper addressed that yesterday when you guys spoke with him. My focus and concentration is on where we are right now and moving forward. So, to be honest, my mindset right now is on the Rams.
Steve, I asked David that question yesterday about your reaction, and he literally said, ask you today.
And you asked me the question, and my response is that I'm focusing on the Rams.
Speaking of the Rams, there's a situation as far as the quarterback position, health. Have you looked ahead to that and starting to plan for that as far as the P.J. Walker look?
Well, right now it's still early. We won't really get an official injury report until tomorrow. So we're still waiting to see exactly where Baker stands. PJ is up and ready. He does a great job in being a pro and preparing each and every day. I have total confidence in him if he has to step in and play.
Has there been an update on Sam Darnold and when he may be returning to back?
Sam Darnold is still progressing, still moving in the right direction. Again, he has, I don't want to give the time frame on when he can come back because I don't really know for sure. I will get that information tomorrow as well.
Steve, on the quarterbacks, generally speaking, not necessarily these injury updates, you were with Baker in Cleveland. How receptive will you be to maybe taking a look at Sam if Baker continues to struggle?
I think we're taking a look at everybody, to be quite honest. I mean, throughout the whole roster, we got to find a way to put the best guys on the field. And it's the focus to me is not on one person. I think offensively, defensively, there's 11 guys out there, and I can't pinpoint one guy that's going to go win a football game for you. So we all got to do our job collectively right there as coaches and players.
What was your experience like with Baker in Cleveland?
Baker was great. He was great in the locker room, tough, competitive player, always going to play hard, and I have a lot of respect for him.
Do you see a difference between what he did in Cleveland to what he's doing now? Do you notice a difference?
In regards to what? What are you saying with your question?
Play, I guess in regards to his play, are you noticing anything differently with his play there to where it is now?
I think Baker would tell you himself that he want to play better. I think collectively as a team, the guys would tell you that we want to play better. So that's the difference in his play is that he wants to be more consistent like we all do.
Steve, do you anticipate making any other changes on the coaching staff?
Right now, moving forward, we feel like we have the guys in place that's going to give us an opportunity to be successful.
What's the latest on Baker's injury? How long do you expect him out? Are you moving forward with PJ this week, and do you expect to bring somebody else in?
David, I answered that probably about 2 seconds ago, and I will get the report tomorrow with the injury report. So, and David and I have history, so I'm just teasing him.
Steve, with so much time left in this season, just talking to the guys in the locker room, is there a sense of optimism, like you guys can turn this around?
Of course. I think the guys, again, realize that we have great talent within this room, within this locker room, and they feel like right now we're just not really hitting the mark yet. And that goes into a lot of different, common denominators. So the confidence is there. We just got to find that consistency to turn it around.
Coach,
What's been your dialogue with Scott and just kind of getting used to the head coach GM dynamic between the two of you guys?
Again, just the experience and wanting to make sure that communication is the key in this process. Scott and I has really gotten on the same page quickly, talking roster, making sure that, we have as coaches, I have the things that we need to go out and get it done. So he's been very supportive in that process.
Coach, your progression to this point, it involved being at Smith nearby, being at Savannah State. Now you're coaching in your hometown. Would you discuss the progression and your feelings as you now stand here as a head coach of your hometown team?
Again, I want to try to keep it very brief because I never want to try to put the spotlight on me. I'm very humble and excited to have this opportunity and to do it right here at home. It's great, but it's bigger than me. And it's about this organization that I truly love and care for, and it's about us trying to get this thing turned around and going in the right direction.
Steve, are there any players defensively or on offense that you think should see the field more?
I think, as I stated to the players, the opportunity for everybody, whether you're on practice squad, active roster or not, you're going to have the opportunity to be able to play. We're sitting at a point to where right now to do the same thing over and over again, the definition, that's insanity. So we got to find the right mix, and if that's a guy moving up from the practice squad, is he going to give us a better opportunity? I'm definitely going to look at that.
Mr. Tepper said yesterday that he saw a lack of, I forget the exact word, enthusiasm on the field at times. Did you see that? And if you did, how do you correct that going forward?
I think what we saw, I thought we saw a team that hasn't played consistently as we played in the previous weeks. And for whatever reason, we got to find the answers to that. And I think those guys have taken ownership when they came in here yesterday to know that we can play better. And as coaches, we can coach better.
Do you have an update on Jaycee Horn's status?
I'll find out tomorrow with the injury report.
Steve Williams, Charlotte Observer. I'm asking more of a macro question here, so bear with me. In the 33 years since Art Shell became the NFL's first black head coach, there's been 24 full-time black head coaches, of course, you being one of them in 2018. I'm wondering, what do you think young coaches, up-and-coming executives, NFL owners can do to remedy those numbers over time?
That's a tough and ongoing question, and that is definitely something that probably needs to be addressed to, those individuals. I can't really answer that for them. Only thing that I can do, we can do as African Americans, is continue to show our approval that we can get the job done, and that's it.
You stress that this isn't a moment that's about you, but this is in large part a moment for West Charlotte, and you're one of a number of alumni who have come through. Is this something that, while you don't want the focus to be on you, you want it to be a moment that kind of shines for that school, that part of town?
I can't disregard where I'm from, where I grew up. Is it dear to my heart? Yes. Am I an example of for many to follow? Yes. So I understand, quote unquote, the torch that I may carry, but I hope I am a great example to a lot of individuals that feel like, they too can succeed and make it in any capacity. So is it important? Yes, it is.
How many childhood friends and high school friends reached out to you yesterday?
It's quite a few. I was just talking to Bruce, and I had probably 300-some text messages, but everybody's excited. But again, guys, that's not going to help us win football games. We got to find a way to, generate this energy and this focus in the right direction. And again, I draw it back to the Los Angeles Rams.
With that said, getting kind of a short week, starting this week a little bit later because of all the stuff going on, and then having a West Coast trip, how do you balance kind of keeping things somewhat the same so they're comfortable for the players, but also implementing your own system?
Well, I really think, again, that nothing's really going to change in our approach. That the players are consistent in what we're doing. We were in here yesterday. We talked briefly, gave them an opportunity to get away. They'll be back in here tomorrow. The coaches are game planning right now in all three phases. I just left one meeting. So our approach is still the same, and nothing has changed in regards to that. We'll be hitting the field tomorrow ready to go.
Is it sort of a good thing that this game is on the road and you guys can stay together like the whole weekend out in LA and everything, and you guys can just be one tight-knit group as opposed to spread all over Charlotte, being a home game with all the commotions going on? Is it almost a good thing that it's on the road?
It's difficult and tough to say. I think the focus is always important. And do you have that more on the road because you're together? Yes. So hopefully that's going to benefit us. But again, the end result is going out on the field and executing.
One of the points of contention, you may have kind of touched on this a little bit in the effort, was yesterday's or Sunday's Red Sea. What's your message to the fans of why they should come out and watch what could be a new brand of football for you guys?
Well, number one, I want to make sure that our fans understand and know that we appreciate them, and we understand too that we got to give them a good product to come out and cheer for. So yes, I'm hoping that when we come back home, we see a sea of blue. But most importantly, right here, we as an organization, coaches and players, got to go out and perform to that level.
Steve, to Ellis's question, the history of interim coaches in this league has been pretty poor as far as getting that title removed, white, black, regardless. Did that give you any pause at all as you considered this opportunity?
No, I didn't blink whatsoever. And again, I'm not worried about the end result. I'm just worried about winning the day and giving us an opportunity to be able to be successful.
There's been a lot of talk about the culture, keep pounding, and whether or not this team is bought into it. You guys have a lot of younger players, but your return back to Charlotte, what does keep pounding mean to you, and where is this current team at as far as adopting that philosophy and truly understanding what it means?
It means a lot to me. It means a lot to this organization. It's just like anything when you come through the organization that it has to be taught. It has to be understood that this is our mantra and this is what we're about. Yes, we do have a lot of young guys, but we at that point in our season that it's about keep pounding. And in order for us to turn around, that's the mindset that we're going to have.
You talked about the optimism that is in the locker room. Is there a sense of perhaps more motivation? Not that these guys weren't motivated, but they've lost their coach mid-season. Is that kind of a shakeup? Do you feel like there's maybe a shakeup in some of the mindset of some of the players?
I don't think it's a shakeup. I do know that a lot of guys understand this business and this profession that everybody's on notice, and everybody is fighting for their job, whether here or somewhere else. So we tell the guys all the time, even as coaches, what you put on tape is your resume. So we're trying to put quality things on film to go out and execute and win football games, and then whatever happens at the end is going to happen.
Coach Wilks, Deshaun Brown from WSOC. When you got the call, what ultimately went into your decision to say yes? Not to the point to where I even debated the situation. Is that I want to be a part in trying to help turn this thing around. So my history with this organization before is when we won 3 straight NFC South championships. So I know what it takes. I've been around here when it was good. We went to a Super Bowl. So to be able to get us back to that point is the reason why I wanted to accept and take this job.
We'll take a couple more.
Hey, Steve, just as a point of clarity, has Al been named defensive coordinator? Is his title going to change?
Yes, his title will change, and he has been promoted to that position.
And then that leaves like a linebacker. Is there any chance that you guys would approach Luke Kuechly about that linebacker job?
For his playing or coaching? Yes, as I stated before, I feel good about the coaches that we have in place moving forward, and I'm excited about what we're going to try to get done.
Who will oversee the secondary? We continue to do.
Evan Cooper will have more of a stronger role, but my presence will still be in that room.
Tepper said that you're a leader of men. What does that mean?
Everybody has certain definitions of leader of men. I would tell you I'm very authentic, and I'm a leader of people, and I'm genuine in my approach. I'm sincere. I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. And I think when you have that kind of approach, players and people appreciate that.
Do you have a guy on staff who does that for you? I know you did that for Ron, but is there a guy on staff that kind of tells you what you need to hear, no matter if you want to hear it or not?
Coach Holcomb. Yes.
All right, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.